Increasing head size.
Yeah, there we go. We look good. Joe and my head are huge, and the two of you's head are less.
No, my head's huge, like Sputnik.
Oh, wait, that was...
I have a giant pillow. I'm going to cry myself to sleep in my giant pillow. Laura, you know my father's an axe murderer, right?
Yes, I do. It's funny the way you put that, though. You know my father's an axe murderer, right?
Well, yes, I knew you'd get it.
Yeah.
Right. His giant noggin down now. Georgia had Scottish parents, so she knows about being yelled at in brogue.
Yep.
I'm
Are we
Georgia?
Twittering?
Oh, yeah.
What did Georgia do wrong now?
I didn't twirtle.
No, I haven't even tweeted it yet. That's why.
I'll retwitter it once you have.
7. Yeah, sorry, I'm a little off my game this morning. My meetings.
Everything's just happening at once.
Yeah. Okay. I have twoted and I'm about to retwote.
We're live, but I can still say that it's amazing watching newly retired Kevin Mitchell complain about ads and meetings now that he's no longer in charge of them. I just throw things all the time.
I have nothing I can say on air about that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So he is all I can say.
But I'm giving you a consumer's perspective now. Yes, that's what we were giving you for years.
All right. I'm done with the quotes. Right, and we're all recording, so I'm about to start the show. Yes. All right. Good afternoon. Today is Friday, September 18th, 2020. Today, we're going to talk about the Apple event that took place on Tuesday, September 15th, all the goodies they announced, and what we can expect for the rest of the year, because this is the iMore show. And joining us, as usual, is the wonderful Georgia Dow. Welcome to the show, Georgia Dow.
I'm so excited Renee's here, and I can't believe Renee, who's doesn't, I talk to him all day, does not tell me that he's going to be on the show.
In fairness, Lori asked me after I spoke to you.
And that beautiful voice that you heard, since Georgia jumped the gun on my secret, was our special guest today, returning again, Renee Ricci from youtube.com/Renee Ricci. Welcome back to the show, Renee.
I just can't quit you people. You're my favorites.
It's the best. And by the way, for anybody who is listening, not watching, when Georgia was announced, Renee giggled for some reason. I'm not sure what that secret was about.
It was the best introduction. It was so sweet.
And of course, also joining us once again is Joe Keller, Assistant Managing Editor of iMore. Welcome back to the show, Joe.
Oh, good to be here. Oh my God, what a week.
That's beta everyday face on Joe right now. That's a new beta everyday face on Joe.
I just can't stop.
And of course, I am Lori Gill. So let's get to it. There's a lot to talk about. So obviously, the biggest is going to be September 15th. Apple made a big announcement. If you're listening to this, you probably already know about this, and you probably know about everything that was announced. So we're going to get right to it. Apple Watch Series 6. Renee, you unboxed it on your YouTube channel, which everybody should check out. And you are showing us.
You're wearing it. Let me see it.
Now.
Oh, you're such a brat.
Product
Let me see
look at that color.
Oh, bloody hell. The leather one. That's the leather.
The new leather band, yeah.
That's the leather band. Yeah. Okay, go through it.
So while he's setting something up, to me, the product red looked a little bit cheesy on the website, and it looks gorgeous in real life.
So it's going to be divisive because it's glossy. It's like, do you remember the iPhone 7, the red iPhone 7? It really looks like that. It's a glossy, metallic.
It looks a little plasticky. That's the only thing I would say is it looks a little bit more plasticky.
I love that color. That's a really nice shine. I am a color lover. So I purposefully didn't choose product red because I kind of thought the product image that Apple showed, it was kind of gaudy to me, and that does not look gaudy. That's a gorgeous color red. I really like
And
it.
that's the SE and classic
Classic space gray.
black. Yeah, space gray. Sorry.
That
And
looks
space gray on
beautiful.
the aluminum.
Yeah. No, that looks beautiful.
It
Yeah.
does. I thought the blue
Yes.
for the Series 6 looked really. I said this in
does look
the
really
Discord
nice.
during the event. There's some really truly lickable colors.
Do you think the blue is going to be new iPhone blue, Joe?
Oh, do I hope so?
That is-
would be so
That is
pretty.
part of the
Pro.
reason. That's part of the reason that I actually insta ordered the blue. Is I thought, well, if there really is a blue phone coming, then I've got my matching
is.
stuff.
And if you haven't seen it, it's a dark navy metallic blue.
Like almost just
Which
off.
the red is too, but at certain angles, the red looks plasticky. That's the only thing that I have to say is certain angles, it looks a little plasticky, whereas the blue looks like
The
dark
band.
blue jeans. Oh, you have the stretchy.
That's right.
Here
And it
goes
matches
Renee.
my midnight.
Okay, so he has the stretchy band. I have so many questions about the stretchy band.
Yeah.
How much does
let's
it
talk
stretch?
about the stretchy
what
band.
the Lord, it stretches like
A lot.
4 inches out. It's really stretchy and it's plastic. What is it made out of, Renee?
Silicone.
Okay, stretch it again for me.
It's Gumby. It looks like Gumby.
So I'll say right away when Anthony said that you had it, I went, oh, I can't wait to get another band because the chances of it fitting, because they came in all these different sizes, I'm like, probably not going to fit. I'm probably getting a new band. And Anthony goes, he put it on right away and it fit perfectly. And I'm like,
Yeah, they
that
guessed
is the
my
most
size.
Horrific news.
John Gruber was saying that, like, everybody we talked to, all the reviewers, they guessed our sizes perfectly. So they did send 2 sizes. They sent me a 7 and an 8.
Oh, did
But
they?
I opened up the 8 and it fit perfectly. And I don't know if they have secret risk so you just pull it on like a rubber band,
I want it.
and then
it fits snug, right?
yeah.
Which
Yeah,
one are
I
you
can-
using,
yeah.
the 7 or the 8?
I'm using the 8. You're gonna steal the 7, aren't you?
Yes. Uh-huh. That's
I think
exactly
your
what's
wrists are
gonna
too
happen.
tiny.
Yeah, Georgia, I measured my wrist because I did buy the braided band because I think the braided band is absolutely
The only
gorgeous.
thing with
Gorgeous.
the braided band is getting it wet.
Oh,
Down
it's
with
not
it
braided.
wet.
That's like the loop. The loop is made of material
Yes.
that would.
And
Yes,
the braided
which I
one
don't- which
keeps its
it
size
gets
better.
wet
Like,
and it bothers me.
the normal loop can stretch a little bit over time, but the braided loop, because it's braided, you can sort of shuffle it back into place so it'll keep its shape better.
Yeah. So like you could literally just wash it and it'll shrink back down because that's what yarn does.
And it is.
Oh, I
I
love
like
it.
the look better.
Does it grab your arm hairs, Renee? Evan in the
No.
chat wants to know.
It's just a
It
single
looks
piece of
so
silicone. There's nothing for it
comfortable,
to
and you don't have
grab
to
onto.
do anything. You just pop it on and pop it off.
And you can slap yourself like a rubber band to remember things.
There we go.
operantly
Or if
conditioned.
you're working on some,
Yep.
Oh, I wonder if you could
Great.
store things. Like, finally, I have a storage solution for my Apple Pencil Generation 1.
Oh wow! Look at that.
Just
I'll just say it. No.
wear it like Spider-Man. Oh, come on.
That's really
Not
more.
the
That feels more
pencil.
Assassin's Creed at this point.
Yeah.
That's true.
Hidden
That's
blade.
true.
Oh, I thank you for not
Spider-Man?
calling me low rent Wolverine.
Oh, Canadian, low rent. Yeah, damn. You missed all the real good pitches, Joe.
That's why Renee's here. Make us all feel
yeah.
bad.
Set them up, and you guys can just come back at me.
So,
So
Renee,
with-
you have the Series 6 and the SE, yes.
Yes.
Oops. How do you find them?
I like them a lot. So the SE, I think, is really clever because it brings all like the modern look and a lot of the modern safety features. Not all the health features. Like there's no ECG and there's not it doesn't have the new pulse oximeter sensor, but it has things like fall detection and 911. So like if you just wanted to give it to an elderly parent, or you just wanted to use it for a child, and you didn't want to get like a Series 3 because that's a little bit too old for you, or especially for a parent, you want fall detection.
Yeah.
I think is really, really useful. You can get it for less, and it looks good. It works with all the same stuff, and I'm really impressed with it. There's even a Nike Plus version if you just want like a lower priced sport, utility, safety watch. And I'm glad to see it's the same thing we talked about for a while ago, Lori. Remember like the Apple just pushing stuff down to lower price points for the iPads? I'm so glad they're doing that with the Apple Watch. I mean, they didn't do anything like that since the Series 1, and I think it's really good.
And we were talking, Lori, about it having at least fall detection, if anything.
Right, because that one is such a big deal. And I am bummed that they did not include ECG, because I do feel like these are such important features for everybody to be able to have.
Yeah.
So maybe next year, obviously it's a price factor of like how much they can put in and keep the price point a certain price. So I get it. But
can I ask you about that? Because I saw that huge controversy on Twitter, and it reminds me of OnePlus. Like OnePlus made these amazing flagship killer phones for Android, where you could get like most of the flagship features for much, much less money. But then people kept complaining about the features they didn't have, like wireless charging and other things. So OnePlus said, fine, we'll add them. But then the price went to flagship, and everyone got super upset. And like, I get it with the iPad and with the Apple Watch is that they're missing several key things, but that means they don't have to have one of the fancy new sensors on the back of the SE, or they don't have to have a laminated display on the iPad. Yeah. And so like, you can have low cost, but you can't have all the features. If you have all the features, the price goes up, but we want both. Damn it, manufacturers, we want both. Where do you land on that, Laurie? do you have sympathy for them?
I actually, so I have
sympathy
very strong,
for whom, Renee?
The customers who want everything.
Okay, there.
Yeah. So I'm on their side in this. So I've actually brought this up, I think, twice now. I think that the price is too high. I know, Renee, you're just going to roll your eyes at me. It's okay.
No, I think that's totally cool.
Here's why. So what we have now is the Series 3 for $199, which is an incredible price. It is an incredible price, but it's at this point about 4 years old. Yeah. And it has 4-year-old technology in it. And Apple removed the Series 3 with cellular. So now the only one you can get is the Wi-Fi only Series 3. So when you're shopping for a new Apple Watch for yourself or a new Apple Watch for somebody in your family so that you can use family setup, the first thing you're going to think is, I'd really like one that has cellular capability, because even if I'm buying it for myself and I want to hand it down later, that's a big deal. Like pretty much there's no reason not to buy cellular at this point. I mean, it is more expensive, but
the family setup thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So cellular it has immediately become a very important factor for a lot of families. Like when I buy, as you know, if I have kids or if I have a parent that's older, I am immediately going to choose a cellular model over a Wi-Fi model, because I know someday I might pass that down to one of my family members. So the $199 Series 3 is actually now a bad purchase. It used to be a great value, a great watch. They didn't do anything to update it or make it more advanced. They just kept it at the price point and then removed the cellular option. So now you go in and you go, well, here's this $199 one. It's the cheapest one. That's the one I want. But gee, for only $80 more, I can upgrade to this other one that has a faster processor and it has fall detection. That's it. So to me, they kept the Series 3 as a marketing tactic to get you to upgrade to the SE. I think they should have found a way to either get the Series 3 with better stuff in it, or an SE that has a lower price point on it, and gotten rid of the Series 3 entirely. Because I just think they actually made it so that they can make it more expensive by keeping the Series 3 around and showing people that while the Series 3 is only $199, you don't want the Series 3. You actually want to spend $80 more for the SE.
Like the terrible microwave that gets you in the door, but then nobody buys it because it's a terrible microwave.
Yes, then they get the slightly better microwave. It's a total. Yeah. I think it's a total marketing tactic. So I'm a little disappointed in the price.
Well, Laura, you think you're mad? I think there shouldn't be Wi-Fi only Apple Watches anymore. So,
yeah. Well, you know, I on the one hand, I kind of agree with you, but because I don't need one. So the one I bought was the Wi-Fi only. I don't need a cellular model. I'm wearing a cellular model. I've had it for 2 years, and I pay for the cellular service. I have never once left my house without my watch. So I don't need it. Yeah, I don't need it. I also don't have a family member to pass it down to. So for me personally, I feel better about having the option of a cheaper model. Like if they just eliminated the Wi-Fi only and all Apple Watches were $50 to $100 more because of the cellular, I'd be a little bit bummed out that I had to pay that much more for it. So
no, I mean, I think they should get rid of the Wi-Fi only models and then move the price of the cellular models down.
Yeah,
they've got to pay licensing on the cellular ones.
Yeah, so Renee has a point. It is a money thing, and again, like as much as I'm complaining about the price of the SE, the Apple Watch SE, I do recognize that there's a price point issue that they need to meet. They can't just give us everything and make it super cheap. I do understand.
Super cheap luxury. Come on, do it.
Cheap.
$50 for an Apple Watch.
No, it's going to be like those OnePlus earbuds that get seized by customs because they think they're knockoff.
Wow, that story was wild.
I saw Viper show up in the chat, and it just reminded me of that story because he laughed so loud when he saw that.
Yeah, that's a pretty crazy one. All right, so we talked a little about the Series 6 and the Apple Watch SE, which comes in many new colors. Actually, it's not just the new blue and product red and aluminum, but they've also added graphite to the stainless steel, which is not space black. Renee, have you gotten your eye? Have you had your peepers on the graphite?
No, only Gruber got one. I think he's the only one I know. They sent all the YouTubers the color ones because they think that's better TV.
Right.
But Gruber got the graphite, and he wrote like 2,000 words about the subtle differences between space black, space gray, and graphite on the
That's good.
steel.
I want to see that. I want to read about that because for the black, it's very difficult for me to visually see it on product renders and just like the stuff that I'm seeing on the web. So I'll read Gruber's article about it because I do want to know.
Lighter. From what I understand, it's lighter. And like his theory is that back in the day, the early watches were such big bezels, they deliberately made it black so that the watch would seem bigger. But now that they have the bigger displays, they don't need to anymore. And it's a little bit lighter than the previous color. So they're calling it graphite instead.
That makes a lot of sense. I like it. Because that puts it more in line with the space gray color of the aluminum. So they're not so distinctively different. They're very similar in their color tones.
And you can see the material, like you can see the titanium one, but the space black, you could it just looked like a Kryptonian weird, but Batman material that nobody could tell what it was. And this, I think you can tell that it's steel more than you could previously.
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
And a couple of people asked why there's no red and blue steel. My only guess is that for aluminum, you can anodize pretty much any color, but DLC on stainless steel, I don't know how complicated that is.
Which is why I think they've struggled to get a good golden color in the stainless steel, which leads me to the next color change is that they've pulled away from that sort of not quite rose gold into a much more yellow, natural, they call it classic gold. And I think
gold.
That's good. I think for a lot of people, the classic gold is a better option because the not quite rose gold, it's sort of pinkish. It almost has pinkishness to it, and I think that can be a turnoff for some people. So I love that. Not for everybody. I mean, I know there are some people who love a rose gold.
I love the rose gold, but again, I'm picking it because it's pinkish. Like I like that it is a pinky color of gold.
Well, you'll love the new iPad Air.
I did.
That is the
I've
rose gold I've ever seen.
I went, oh, that's beautifully pink. But you're absolutely right, Lori. I think that people that want gold want like
I think
a
there's
gold
more
color.
people. Yeah, there are more
versus
people.
Versus the rosy gold, which is fine, but it is
not actually
gold.
Rose gold.
No,
which is the frustrating part. Is it's like slightly pinkishly rose instead of just straight
and now
up
if you
rose
bought
gold.
Rose gold things like my iPad and like my MacBook. Sorry, like they don't match anymore. Like not that you should be matching your tech, but if you do, it's now off. All of my Rose gold bands are like just a little bit off if you're looking at it, if you are that particular.
Yeah.
Not
quite.
Not quite.
So I think it's good that they were able to get like a nice gold matching color in that stainless steel. So, all right. So speaking of iPad Air, let's talk
about the blood oxygen, Renee? Can I?
Oh yeah. You know what?
Can we ask about that just because I am really dying to find out how this works. Did you use it? Okay, show me. So what do you do, Renee, to activate it?
You have to go to the app. You have to activate it on your phone first, and then you activate it on the app. And you're supposed to put the watch face facing up and your hand on a table. So I'm doing the exact opposite of what I'm supposed to be doing now. And then it takes.
And it will say you're dying.
Oh, unsuccessful because I moved it. Hold on.
Okay, yeah.
So you have to stay still.
I was right. I had understood that at least maybe at the consumer level, a blood oxygen monitor requires you to be still.
Let's see. Whoop, I'm not in the frame. Boy,
there you go. There you go.
See, it's I'll run it on the table.
It's moving too much.
Yeah, run it on the table.
But
So
what
it's
it does,
easy to set up.
so a normal one, a normal blood oxygen reader, the one you get at the pharmacy, it shoots it through. It's transitional, so it shoots light through your finger completely from one side and it registers on the other. The Apple Watch can't do that because there's nothing in the strap, so it does a reflective version of the same technology where the red, green, and infrared LEDs shoot light to measure the color of your blood, and then what's reflected back, the diodes. They're not light emitting diodes, they're the opposite, light drinking diodes, maybe. They suck it in and then it registers. It can measure between 75 and 100% blood oxygen level. Normally it's between 95 and 100%. The biggest difference, though, is that Apple has not gone through a regulatory process with these. So they can't say they're a medical tool. You can only say it's a wellness tool. And I believe the reason they did that is because ECG is taking so long to roll out, so few countries getting it so slowly. And this way, if they classify it, I don't want to say homeopathy because I think that has a lot of baggage attached to it. But if they say it's for wellness, it's using the exact same technology as the medical ones you get on your finger. They're just not allowed to give an accuracy level because you can only do that if you're regulated.
Yeah.
So they'll just say it's for wellness. But if you look at the results and understand the technology, it is essentially the same thing as those finger ones.
Yeah. So basically, in other words, it has not been given government regulated approval in any particular country, but it's the same thing as the government regulated devices. So even though Apple is not
I don't know
going
if we would say it's the same thing because, like, I don't know if having it reflected back is as accurate. But I guess we'll see. I would love to actually I'll ask when I go into
Georgia,
work.
there are
97%.
FDA approved.
Oh, you're good, Renee. You're
97%.
good.
Yep, good.
I thought I was going to say 3%.
By the way, to speak specifically to the blood oxygen monitoring as being part of a wellness thing, not a medical device. Here's an example. Renee's at 97%, not 100%. If you don't understand your blood oxygen, if you were to use a finger one and it said 97%, you might freak out because it's 3% below 100. So knowing that your normal blood oxygen level, maybe it's 95, maybe it's 97, maybe it's 100, that range is all okay and that's not abnormal.
And your elevation, right? Maybe you live in a mountain and it's normally much lower.
Mm-hmm. And exactly. And then if you check it and it's suddenly at 90 or 88, then you could say, okay, this does seem unusual. I know I'm normally low, but this is even lower. So that, I think, in terms of it being wellness is really beneficial because it gives us a map of our health overall instead of a one-time check. I think Apple specifically called attention to COVID-19 as being, because we're all dealing with our fears about that. And one of the ways that that medical professionals have been able to figure out symptoms has to do with our blood oxygen levels. So if you're showing a variety of symptoms, if you have a sore throat and a fever, and you happen to know what your normal blood oxygen level is from your watch, and then you check it and suddenly it's low, then you add that to your list of I think I need to go get tested because I'm seeing these multiple signs. So it's, again, like a way for us to be more in control of the kinds of things that our doctors have access to that we don't understand. We can understand it on a daily basis now.
And the nice thing is if you merge that with other things like the sleep app, right? It could track that your oxygenation through the night goes down. So maybe you have a mild form or not a mild form of sleep apnea, and it would be able to track that when you're sleeping.
It won't alert you though. You have to go look it up. The difference between this and the heart rate is it doesn't send you notifications.
But you could actually look that up. If you think that you're having disrupted sleep, you can actually check and say, you know what? For some reason, I hit 88 during the night. That would be a thing of maybe you should go in and get checked out if you have sleep apnea or something else that's happening.
I put this on at 7 a.m. and I've slept with it and it's still at 21% battery.
Right.
So you slept with it last night.
Yeah.
Took it off to charge for some period of time.
When did you slept with it all night?
Yeah. I put it on at 7 o'clock yesterday morning. 7 o'clock yesterday morning.
Oh, in the morning.
And it is 1:30 p.m. where you're at.
And this is a brand new battery though. And it came with iOS 7, with watchOS 7 installed. So it didn't have to update and go through all the heat burning, battery burning update cycle. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it.
That's amazing. So yeah, that means you won't be able to go through an entire workday and into your evening without charging, but they also improved charging speeds, right? So is
George
it
will
the
be impressed. I got
process?
over 8 hours sleep last night for the first time because
Did
I was so
you?
damn exhausted.
Wow.
Yeah.
That
That's because you were
surprises me.
exhausted doing all the
Yes.
videos.
I fell asleep early. I fell asleep at 11 and woke up at 8.
It was
Wow.
did like a million
Lucky.
videos. That's why.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah, it charges faster. So it's the battery is slightly bigger, but because it's also running this sensor, and it also has the always on altimeter now, it drains slightly faster. So the net result is the
Oh.
same battery life.
Okay.
Can we ask about that after too? Sorry.
Yeah, but it also charges faster. So the charging capacity, lithium ion is a segmented charging system. So it charges faster to 80 and then slower to 100. And so now you can charge to 80 in 1 hour and to 100 in an hour and a half.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. So you can almost recharge your watch during your lunch break.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could have gone faster, but they didn't want to replace everybody's pucks, like little charging pucks.
Oh yeah, please don't do that.
Or
yeah.
burn out the little batteries, because I think these
Right.
batteries are more susceptible to battery health decline than a
Okay.
full size
Mhm.
phone battery. But it's I haven't checked that yet because I haven't had to charge it, but I'll be doing tests on
Yeah.
that this weekend.
Yeah, I do like the idea. So I think that's the biggest question or the biggest problem that everybody has had is how can I sleep with this Apple Watch on
Mhm.
when I can't even get through a day without it getting low? And so it sounds like the Series 6 is just doing a better job at maintaining battery health. And also it's got a faster charge speed so that in the morning, you can top it off. Even if you can't get it to 100% while you're doing your morning routine, you can definitely get it charged up enough to get you through your work day before you have to come home and drop it on the charger again for a little bit. So Renee, my question is, I use a workout app that runs anywhere from 45 to an hour, slightly plus, and that negatively affects my general health throughout the day because I don't turn on the low power mode during a workout.
Yeah.
Have you, I mean, I know that you've only had it for like 2 or 3 days at the most. But have you experienced with your Series 5 issues with working out and seeing a stronger battery drain at least?
Yeah, it will, because it activates what it usually does for almost all these sensors. It does periodic checks. So for blood oxygen now, that's the new one. Altimeter used to be that, but now it's constant. But the pulse rate, the heart rate monitor is doing periodic checks. But when you switch to workout mode, it's on the whole time. So it's firing that sensor. And the basic trick to battery life is anything that radiates costs you power. It's like the currency of electronics is you pay for everything in battery life. So the screen radiates, the battery radiates, the screen radiates, the CPU radiates, and the radios radiate. Go figure. So anytime any of those things are on, you're burning power. And when you work out, the heart rate monitor is literally lit up the whole time. So you will see a battery drop there.
Okay. All right. That's going to be for me. I'm going to have to have my own maintenance routine because I'm going to want to use always on. That's, I just,
can we
find
out what is it like, Renee?
What the
always on?
It's brighter, right?
Yeah.
Brighter.
It's
so it doesn't have that
times.
gray, do you still have to double tap though?
No, so that's watchOS 7. That fixes that for everybody.
Okay.
You can tap right through to notification.
Guess what George is going to do?
But it messes. We can talk about this later. But the new phone UI is a blessing and a curse because it doesn't interrupt you. But then I panic about finding the button to answer the phone. And this is the same thing. I'm not frustrated anymore trying to tap to get 8 times. But now I tap. Oh, that happened fast.
It solves your frustrations, but
it'll intercept me sometimes. It's I'll get a ping for notification and I'll hit it so fast the notification hasn't come up yet. So I get the previous notification, which I don't want because it's something dumb, drink water.
Because you used to because I'll be double tapping now and I won't want, but I'm okay with that. So it's always, it doesn't go from dim to bright. It's always bright.
It's not as bright. It's still, it's hard to see, but that's the always on mode and you can still see it.
Okay.
Okay.
So the difference is not as big. It's 2.5 times brighter in always on mode now.
Okay. That sounds great. So that I don't, because sometimes it is especially in bright light, I find it difficult to actually be able to tell.
That's what it's for. It's for people working out. They just want to glance at their watch while they're outside running and stuff. They wanted to make it a little bit brighter.
Excited.
That makes
So
a lot
great.
of sense. Which Renee, I've got my Emoji.
Aw. Oh, we have
Aw.
matching masks.
Yeah, I thought that was cute. We both put our little Emoji me on there. It's pretty
It's
cute.
me being passive aggressive for all the Karens, male and female Karens out there who are destroying our economy and health by not wearing their damn masks.
So you got two of you wearing a mask to make up for it.
Yep.
Everybody wear a mask.
I'll wear masks for everybody.
I thought you were going to say all the people that hate emoji.
Them
was
too.
like, oh,
As
that's
long as they're wearing
totally at
masks, they can
me.
hate whatever they want.
Okay, fair.
My Animal Crossing character also wears a mask, so
Oh,
good.
that's
We're
so
good.
cute. That's so.
Socially
What is your
distant.
animal? I just have to ask.
Oh, it's not. So the character in Animal Crossing is just the human. You
okay.
you invite animals
Okay.
to your family. So you're a humanoid.
This whole Animal Crossing phenomenon, the Animal Crossing phenomenon has passed me by completely.
Yeah, it's okay. You clearly weren't stressed out when the pandemic hit because you would have needed something to help you relax.
I was. I just made videos.
I just feel the stress. I take it in.
So Renee, do you have a good comparison real quick on Series 6 versus SE? Like just if there's people out there who haven't already pre-ordered or ordered one, what's your recommendation? What do you think is a good buy?
I think it's going to be my usual one, and that is like stick with the mid tier if you can. Like, so if the iPhone SE, it gives you the new design, it gives you fall detection, it gives you emergency SOS, it
Sorry,
gives
I'm
you
just gonna
almost
say
all those.
Apple Watch, not the iPhone.
Yeah, the Apple
Yes,
Watch.
sorry, Apple Watch. Sorry.
Yeah, Apple
No,
Watch. Yeah, it gives you all those things. If you're just like, if you just always buy the most expensive thing, if you really, really want ECG, or maybe really need, like for legitimate healthcare reasons, you really need ECG and blood oxygen. Like if those premium features are worth it to you, then go up. But just as a default, I think always, it's like get the iPhone 11 unless you really need the iPhone 11 Pro. And the only thing I want to make fun of is people who are like, oh, the iPhone 6 is an incremental update over the iPhone 5. Yes, but this is a watch market. Almost nobody has an Apple Watch yet. And of the people who do have an Apple Watch, the tiny amount of people who do have older Apple Watches, there are very few people, almost all of them on Twitter, who have Apple Watch Series 6s, and they have it because they're going to buy the new one anyway. That's just how that works. So it's like, I appreciate the hot takes.
Yeah, but to make the argument that this is just an incremental update, like literally every bit of technology ever is always just an incremental update every year. So,
but I don't even know how they could say incremental when you have this blood oxygen reading. It is such
because it doesn't matter to them, Georgia.
Fair, but I don't think that they understand what it does, and I don't think that they understand what the health benefits are added by having this.
But it's
and
all
by
the
having,
same. Like, it's expensive. It's expensive to do this stuff. So every company makes like they only make a new Xbox every 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what decade now or something, and you play. Yeah. It's expensive, and then you make a big splash like an iPhone 10 or an Apple Watch 4.
They don't have another feature, right? It doesn't have now like smell sense, so you can smell your video game.
It has 4K 60, Georgia. Come on.
Which is great, but again, these are faster charging.
It has ray tracing,
too, but we actually have a new feature that will help people stay healthier, be more empowered with what they're doing, learn more about their health. And if people are sleeping better, if they're less chance of worrying, if they have a heart attack and their blood pressure is going up and down, these are huge. I think it's a huge feature.
You're not hating right. I mean, this is so awkward.
I hate poorly.
You're supposed to defend what you like and think everybody else is garbage and stupid.
Fair.
Well, that's kind of what she's doing.
Okay. Oh, Lori's so smart.
She's just being nicer about it
because she's Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. She just has a smile on her face when she says it, so it's nicer. I do agree with you, Georgia. Though to me, this is not incremental. Having the blood oxygen monitor, the first I heard about its existence at all was, I think, sometime last fall, so maybe about a year ago, and I thought, wow. Being able to have a blood oxygen monitor right there on your wrist, and I think it was Fitbit that might have been the original company that started claiming that they were going to be having that coming up. And I was like, that's impressive. That's really big news. I'm very excited about that. So yeah, this is not incremental. Like, sure, it's just a sensor that they added to it, but wow, they added this amazing sensor to it.
What a sensor.
Yeah, exactly. And the other piece that I was so excited was the fitness app that we can run from our watch. Like I'm like, I wish we could watch it from our watch, but it's okay. I'm ready. I'm okay. I'm not hating. But I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this. Dance fitness. Now I'm in. Dance fitness. I'm in.
Yeah.
I wasn't in before. Now I'm into it.
Oh, that looks so good, eh? The Fitness Plus.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's talk
Yeah.
about services a little bit. So yeah, Fitness Plus. So I actually am not so excited about it. So I want to hear about your excitement, and then I'll talk about mine. So let's start with Joe.
Yeah, sorry.
These other two can dance.
Yeah, you two have a dance party, and I'll talk about services. So yeah, Fitness Plus. This isn't surprising to me. I mean, we've been hearing for a little while now that Apple was going to do a fitness service, and of course they called it Fitness Plus. It's a $9.99 a month if you're getting it standalone. More on that later. And it's pre-recorded videos from like Apple workout experts in their Apple Fitness. What do they call it, Renee? It's not like the Fitness Hub. They had a special name for their gymnasium.
Oh,
But-
I don't know. The Apple Fitness Center. I don't know.
Yeah, it's something kind of basic like that. But yeah,
Fitness
it's
Studio, I think.
Fitness Studio. Yeah. But what's really kind of fascinating about it to me is not only is it going to be these pre-recorded videos, it's going to sync with your Apple Watch. It's going to start workouts on your Apple Watch. That's really cool. It's going to show your live metrics on screen as you're doing the different workouts.
I love that part.
That's
So can
great.
we just say the live metrics? So that means your oxygenation level, how long you've been working out for,
The
how long
calories
you
you
have
burned.
left. Yeah, the calories you're burning.
You're closing
how
the
long you
ring
have
celebration.
left. Yes. Which
Yes,
now
yes,
suddenly is fun. Before
And
it was
it'll-
traumatizing.
And what's really great is it will like if your heart rate's lower than they think it
Yeah.
should be or whatever,
Yes.
it'll highlight that particular
It'll say,
metric.
kick your butt into action. You're not
Yeah.
working out fast
Oh,
enough.
I was going to say death imminent. warning,
Stop.
death imminent.
This isn't
Stop
Carrot
working out.
Fitness. This isn't Carrot Fitness.
Oh God, now I want Carrot Fitness Plus.
Right?
Carrot integration with
Cheesy
Fitness
Puff
Plus.
fitness class. Get off the couch. But
Yeah.
that is like so, and you can choose how long you want to work out for. So
Oh, yeah.
you don't have to work out for longer than you want to. I can choose whatever, a 15-minute fitness class. And that's what I'm getting. So like this is so much fun.
Oh yeah, and one of the things that I like that they put a real emphasis on is that a lot of these workouts require absolutely no additional equipment other than your Apple Watch and your device, whatever device.
Right, because who's
you
going
do.
to a gym right now?
Now, what's really interesting to me though is the fitness app is coming to iPad and Apple TV.
Yes.
And I didn't catch this, but does anyone know, is it like the whole fitness app? So, once Fitness Plus launches, am I going to be able to just view my rings on my iPad like I would, like I
believe
do
so,
now
yeah.
on my iPhone?
And you can pick workouts and everything like that.
Yeah.
It should be. Yeah, it should. I don't know if they'll show you your rewards and stuff. I'm guessing they
Right.
would. I don't know why they wouldn't.
Yeah. So, I
probably.
mean, that I think getting more data, more Apple Watch data on more of Apple's screens, I think is great.
Mhm.
And I think it goes to this. I mean, this and family setup really
Mhm,
go
yes.
to this movement towards the Apple Watch being a more iPhone agnostic device.
Closer. It's closer.
It's closer. We're getting there.
It's not
Always,
quite.
it's always like, but it's half a step every time. It's like they go halfway, then halfway.
We're
then
never
half,
really
half,
going
half.
to get a full step, is what you're saying.
And always
Okay.
twirling towards freedom. And yeah, it's I like it. I like the look of it. Since I mean, I'm not the only one here that's getting one of the new Apple Watches, right?
I've got one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've got one
I've
coming
got one. I've got
soon.
one coming maybe next week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But so new Apple Watch owners are gonna have the service for 3 months
3
for
months.
free,
Yeah.
and I think I'm gonna stay subscribed because of something that we're gonna talk about. I think in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Um,
So
but yeah.
that's a good segue. Tell us.
So, like so Fitness Plus is obviously a big deal, but
Oh, before you start that, Joe, can I just there's two questions here, and one is how does it handle 2 people on one Apple TV? And it doesn't. You can have up to 5 people with accounts, but you have to actually do the program for now separately. It's like up to 5 people can share the subscription, but it's still an individual experience. And Evan McCann wants to know, like, why can't you do real competition? If you could, Georgia and I would either have the best workouts ever or we'd kill each other. But there's no competitive, there's
It'd
no
be good
competition.
either way because we're going to be doing the dance thing.
But you can do the fitness challenges still, like the close your ring challenges. So that what you
I
can
want to
do.
do a dance challenge, but okay.
Sorry.
So anyway, Apple Fitness or Fitness Plus is just part of a larger services story from the event. We had only heard about devices going into the event, but in addition to Fitness Plus, Apple also announced what had been reported by Bloomberg about a month ago, Apple One. And the name is indeed Apple One. It is a services bundle. It's what people have been asking for years. I think now is we've got Apple Music, Apple Arcade, Apple TV Plus, iCloud, Apple News Plus,
iCloud, Georgia.
There we
and,
go.
and
I know.
Fitness
I
Plus.
know you said the magic word.
And it's all in various configurations. So if we just
this, I would not have ever guessed iCloud. Georgia, you had said if it's got iCloud, that might be something I would be interested in. And I thought there's no way they would do that. That's just a separate service. There's no way they would do that. And they did it.
And the prices are compelling.
The prices are compelling, Georgia. You're
the
not
prices
kidding.
are really compelling, right? So you end up with the individual for like $15 a month, right? So you're saving like $6. Then you end up with the family plan for $20. I'm just going to say $20 a month. I'm sorry, I'm not doing the lingo. With music, Apple Plus, Arcade, and iCloud, 200 gigabytes. And then you end up with the Premier's Supreme plan called Premier, $30 a month. And you end up with music, Apple TV, Arcade, iCloud, 2 terabytes, News Plus, Fitness Plus coming later in.
And that's the one that's like you get like a $25 discount on that, right?
Yeah, from buying all of those things separately. And they calculate that based on the idea of Apple Music being a family plan. Just
right. Yeah. Because it is a family plan. So because
but like if you're coming,
people can.
But you know, like I'm considering Premiere, and I'm coming to it as an individual Apple Music user. It's still going to save me money, or it's at least a lateral move, financially.
Right. Yeah, I think for me, the mid-tier one is my sweet spot because I don't pay for the family plan. My partner uses Spotify, whatever. So
news and fitness,
and you're still together.
So I didn't actually talk. I didn't actually talk about. I think to me, Fitness Plus is going to be very similar to a service like Daily Burn. And I tried Daily Burn, and the things that compel me to work out, it did not work. I actually use a personal trainer now through an app called Future that it's a live interaction with another human being that sets your program, and you're accountable to another person who sends you messages every day. Hey, have you worked out yet? To me, that was my cup of tea. So I will definitely try Fitness Plus for 3 months, but I have a feeling that's not going to be my cup of tea just because I'm not compelled to work out unless I have somebody outside of me that I'm responsible to.
That's actually telling you personally. Usually that's the way that I am as well. But I think that if Renee and I are like do it together, or we're like training
like
and Spider-Man still doing it. Yeah. That still sounds like fun to me just because I really want to learn how to dance. Because I can't, but I don't care. And the cool part is that, like, one is you can cancel at any time, which I think is a really big deal for people that you don't want to be like, okay, we're gonna, I have this month and I've
you don't have to have like a year. Yes, exactly. Yes.
If you have your family members, it's all going to be personalized, so they don't have to worry about, like they've changed your workout routine without you knowing, and suddenly you're doing a routine you don't want. And the coolest part is that any of these services, if you haven't already tried them out, you get a month free. So just do it. Like, try it out, even if not, because if you haven't already tried fitness, you can try, like no one has, but if, you can try it out. But let's say that you haven't done news. You can try out news.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like I used to be subscribed. I did the free trial of News Plus when it launched last year, and then it fell off because I don't read a lot of magazines.
Right.
But whenever I used it, I liked it well enough. So having it and Fitness Plus in the Premier plan, it's a great value add for
Yes.
Yeah.
people who are already going to be spending that much money. Once TV Plus is actually, you have to pay for it.
Well, but
It's
that's the
starting
thing
in
is that
Right.
it is $10. Like that is like it is a big deal, right?
Yeah.
For people that if you're not going to use it or if you don't have a family, that $10 then might not be worth it for you.
Yeah.
But if you have a family, you're already probably going to choose to go with the Premier plan because it's such a nice savings.
It really is. It gives you the best value for sure.
Yeah.
It's also Fitness Plus is also only $80 for an entire year. If you don't go with one
Yeah.
of the bundles, you're getting a really great deal on a year's worth of
And 3 months
Fitness
with your new
Plus.
Apple Watch
Yeah.
for free.
3 months free with your new Apple Watch and $80 for a year, which I'm assuming is tacked on to that. So you get 15 months of Apple Fitness Plus for $80 if you buy in for a whole year, which is really, really reasonable when you think about the cost of 1 month membership at a gym
Mhm.
to have 15 months or 12 if you don't,
Yeah.
or 13 if you don't buy an Apple Watch. That deal is just phenomenal. So it's a
You're
really
trying to
great
get like an
price.
emotional connection with the trainers too, because they're giving you their backstories and they scoured the world and like one's a champion surfer
You see
and
that?
one
Those
lost a
are-
limb from football and they use and they can move and they program together and they go in between each other's videos like the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
I get it. I don't really care.
You're like
I
shut up and
don't.
dance
I'm not one of those people that really like.
that attaches
I
everyone.
want them to care about me. I don't need to care about them. Is my feeling of this interaction. I want them to kind of be like inspire me and make like, and that's where I think that I understand, Lori, you wanting the personal interaction because they're watching you and they're there to say, hey, that wasn't a great push-up. So because I want to learn how to dance, I'm a skill-based. I don't think that I need that personal connection, but I don't care what you had for breakfast. It does not affect my level of dance skills. So I think that might be the reason why Fitness Plus might work for me, whereas usually I would need a personalized teacher that would come in and, teach me how.
Now, here's what
Yeah.
they'll do to
Yes.
draw in people like Lori is every so often they'll post a new Apple Watch stories video about how the Apple Watch saved these lives in all these various different ways.
Yeah.
I
that'll
don't
get
think
everyone.
that'll
That'll
do
get me.
it. I think she'd
That'll
like
get me,
it, but
though.
I think she'd still go with the personal trainer because it is that
It is
difference
really,
between it.
really
And who knows, maybe
beneficial.
eventually Fitness Plus will offer, personalized
personal trainer.
training. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping for, was not necessarily a personalized trainer, but live interactive workouts.
Like on Peloton.
That's what I was thinking would
They're
be.
not doing that.
Are they going to be
Then
suing?
like Peloton is really,
Peloton
really
gonna be
expensive.
suing?
So nah. Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll feel Sherlocked and they'll make a big deal about it. Who knows?
They're doing
you know-
live. Well, they just announced gym kit support. So obviously they're working with Apple on making
Yeah.
it work better. And I think Apple's staying out of the live training session thing. They're only giving you a bunch of new classes every week. And then you can do them on your own schedule. And they're like 5 minutes to an hour and beginner to expert and all like these different things, but they're not doing the Peloton style thing yet.
Yeah.
They're certainly not going to make a bike.
So real quick,
Treadmill.
Delva Veronica in the chat has mentioned that in Brazil, they only have 2 options, individual and family. I did want to point out the reason that there is no premium plan in certain countries is that Fitness Plus is only so far coming to, I think it's 6 countries at launch. So they're just not offering a plan for the premium option in those countries because you're not getting a value if you're not
And
getting
News Plus,
Fitness
it's like
Plus.
8 years later and it's still in like 4
And
countries.
News Plus is also not available in a lot of countries. And that's so the premium plan includes both of those. That's the only plan that includes both of those. So there's just going to be some countries that for now and maybe for a while won't have that premium option because the services don't come to your country. It's not a deal for you. So that's what's going on with that.
Now, something about Apple One that I think we should talk about is the news that came out yesterday about it. And it apparently is going to work with people who have different types of Apple accounts. So people like me
Yes.
who have a separate iTunes. I still call it an iTunes account
Me too.
and a separate iCloud account. This was a question asked by Christina Warren of Microsoft on Twitter. And she was replied to by Chris Espinosa, who I think is Apple employee number 8?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, he's OG Steve Jobs, original
Yeah.
small company days.
An old schooler.
That's great because that's one of the issues. Like, people rightly criticize Apple for having really bad identity management. Like, it's not like Google, it's not like Facebook, but it's because they're such an old company. And Microsoft went through that when they had Hotmail accounts and Microsoft Live accounts and Skype accounts and Xbox accounts. And now they have the Microsoft Passport system, which basically shellacks the entire thing. And Apple's trying to do that, but people like me had iTunes accounts, and Joe, before there was an iCloud account, and then you had to have an iCloud email for your iCloud account. So
so that's how this happened to me. Is I realized this today. I have a music library that's now about that's been organized as it is for about 20 years, and I'm not walking away from a commitment like that. I was worried about the Premier plan. I'm just going to have 2 terabytes of iCloud storage floating off in the ether
on your iTunes account that you never use.
Yeah. So this news warms my heart and actually makes me actively excited about Apple One in a way I wasn't before. Spotify be darned.
Well, I mean, if Lori's willing to stick with someone who listens to Spotify, there's hope for the rest of the world.
I know. I don't know. Well, yeah. I mean, I live with somebody who does. So
yeah.
My Apple account.
Together.
I had an iTunes account, and then I had a .Mac account. That's how far that goes back for me.
Oh yeah.
I don't go as far back as iTools, but .Mac. That's pretty old. Oh no, I didn't. I remember eWorld because our first family computer was a Mac and it had eWorld on it. But yeah,
it blows my mind. It's like BlackBerry essentially lost half their universe because they never imagined a time when people would have more than one device, and BBM just didn't work with more than one device. You had to log out and log in with every device, and they tried everything, but they just had. And that's the same thing with all these services. The older they are, the more technical debt they have, and the harder it is for them to move people forward. And I think that's why some of the upstart companies win sometimes, because they have fresh, modern approches to these things.
Yeah.
Like Peloton, who cares? You sign up for Peloton, you have your live training, you win.
And, we might be and it really makes me happy that Apple did this, or that Apple's doing this, assuming this does pan out. We can't say for sure because the service hasn't launched. But it makes me happy because, those of us with 2 accounts like this, we're probably an ever shrinking number of Apple users, but we're still big enough that, it's a functionality built into it's a big enough number of users that it's built into each operating system that you can have separate accounts for iCloud and media purchases. So it's just good. It feels good to not be forgotten.
Yeah.
on this particular.
I'm glad they remembered you, because I do know that there's not a lot like you, but there are some loyal fans like you, and it's good to hear that Apple's taking care of you.
Yes.
So there was one thing. So we're running low on time, so we'll just quickly go over the iPad Air 4. Because we'll talk more about it when it actually launches. It's not actually coming out until October, but just to run down, basically, I think the 3 of us had our predictions on what we thought it was going to look like, and of course, it was based on all this things that already came out. But it's exactly what we thought it was going to be. It's basically an iPad Pro case in an iPad Air guts. It has like the not quite edge-to-edge screen. It has the same design build as the iPad Pro, which I absolutely love. It comes in a multitude of colors.
Very pretty colors.
And there's one thing that a lot of people had pointed out soon after Apple launched it, which is that the iPad Air right now at this moment makes it better than, or almost as good as the iPad Pro. So what we're looking at now is like a very advanced iPad Air.
Yeah, for the first time in 9 years, the iPad is launched with a new Apple chip first. The A14.
Yes. So we're seeing that
in the iPhone next month.
Yeah, and we're not seeing it in the iPad Pro right now. And I don't think, just because of how recently they launched the iPad Pro 2020, we may not see it until March of next year.
Yeah, what's really exciting about that to me as a big iPad Pro user is the X variant and now Z variants of chips are always like they're really boosted, if you will,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
more
Beefy.
cores. They're beefy. They're just
Yeah.
they're the chunk of chips.
thick core.
They're the thick boys.
Yeah.
And so the A14X, I mean, the A14 sounds pretty impressive already. 6-core CPU. What is it? 40% higher CPU performance, 30% higher GPU performance. The A14X, over the A12.
Yeah.
But the next iPad, assuming it has an next iPad Pro, assuming it has an A14X, is going to be against the A12X and A12Z. I expect similar gains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as an
Makes
iPad
Joe
user, I'm
happy.
very
Look at his face,
excited.
Lori.
Yeah,
like
it's very
Christmas.
exciting.
Just so happy.
I am absolutely in love with my iPad Pro, and I can't see myself ever replacing it, but eventually it's going to need to be replaced. And because of all of the features of the iPad Air, that might be what I get when I finally replace my iPad Pro. And it's because the almost edge-to-edge screen, I love this Touch ID on a button. I love
This
this.
is the funniest thing because we asked all the questions about the button and the size and how is it, and they answered all of them.
All
It
of
was like
that,
they
yes.
listened.
Yes. I can't wait to try that out.
Yeah.
So because I'm so all in on Apple, I didn't realize like how ubiquitous a button Touch ID already is, like a small thin button, but it's been around. So it's not new technology. It's not going to be like this like broken, never working thing that Apple is trying out. It's existing technology that Apple's adding to their stuff. So it's already proven itself to be worthwhile in the market. So I'm not scared of it. I don't think that it's not going to work. I'm actually very excited.
What about your eyes though, Lori? Will you be able to go back from ProMotion 120 hertz and from 4 quad speakers down to 2 stereo speakers like an animal?
I think, Renee, you are in the class of people that kind of thing really matters and is really important. But I have mentioned more than once that I oftentimes can't really tell that much of a difference between one screen and another, even though the quality might be better. So no, I don't think that's going to affect me. I think it's going to look
You're
just
an audio.
fine.
Well, you have spatial audio now, so you don't care about any of the stupid speakers anymore. Lori's like, I'm living in a spatial world.
And I would never listen to music from my iPad
There it
speaker
is.
anyway.
You're the reason vinyl's outselling CD now, Lori. You know that.
Oh yeah. You've probably, well, maybe you haven't seen my vinyl collection, but it's big.
I'm imagining it. Yes.
Yeah. So this is such a big deal. Georgia, colors. What do you think? Are you thinking about getting the pink one, or are you like, you're still like, nah, I don't need a new iPad?
Oh, like that's the thing is that my husband and I always have this battle of like, he uses his iPad and I use my MacBook, and he's always like I always usually win out, right? And now that he has the Pro, he's like, I'm gonna use my better computer than yours. And it comes in pink. I'm like, Jesus, that is a
Oh, it's
sweet
rose
device.
gold, but it's the rosiest rose gold I've
it's-
ever seen.
It's so
fine.
rosy.
It's rose gold, but it's pink.
Rose gold.
It's beautiful, and the pencil and the
Yes, so
keyboard,
then
and it's light, and it's
it also supports Apple Pencil 2, not Apple Pencil 1, which I know is a big deal for Georgia. It's a big deal for me too. The Apple Pencil 2 is hands down a huge improvement over the first generation Apple Pencil. And you don't have to plug it into your iPad in order to charge it. It's got the connector on top. It does. It's not even a Lightning connector iPad. It's a USB-C iPad. So that's huge improvements there. It works with the Magic Keyboard. So Georgia, you now might as well just get rid of your laptop and replace it with an iPad Air, because it's basically an iPad Pro with an actually better processor at the moment. It just doesn't have like the advanced screen technology, and it doesn't have Face ID.
She's waiting
and I mean
for
the general
Apple Silicon
front
MacBook though, Lori. She's not going to make any iPad purchases.
You're not wrong about that. That's actually something I'm holding out for too.
Can I show you the old school? This is the iPad 8.
So so this is the new 2020 iPad. It is practically the same thing as last year's iPad, but it's new. So
yes.
What do you think? How, like, in terms of what the 7th gen was, do you see a significant improvement in processing power and speed and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, the only real big difference is it's got an A12 instead of an A10. So last year's iPad Air chip is now in the iPad Nothing, the iPad adjectiveless, and it's faster. I think the important thing with that, though, is it just means that if you buy one now, you'll get updates for longer. Like the A10 was going to age out in a couple of years, and now you'll have like 4 or 5 years of updates, which I think is really good. I know some people are complaining that the screen is still not laminated. And I saw an educational person go, "Oh no, please don't, because it costs us $20 to replace the non-laminated screens, and it costs $120 to replace the laminated ones." And you know, like, not only are we saving money up front, we're saving money every time the kids drop them. And I'm like, okay, hadn't considered that. That's fair.
Yeah, yeah.
And people are grousing at the 32 gigabytes, and I think that's fair. If you're a streamer, it's fine. But if you're not a streamer, 32 gigabytes is the new 8 gigabytes.
Here's what here's what I think about that. I was writing about this yesterday about getting the iPad, waiting for the iPad Air 4 versus getting any iPad Air 3 that's still on sale. You can actually get for 120 or for, I think it's $429, you can get 128 gigabytes, which is $70 less than you can get 64 gigabytes on currently on sale iPad Air 3s.
Yeah. So the price is so incredible. That's exactly Joe's point, which is, I think, exactly what Apple's doing is keeping this at the lowest possible price point, because even with the processor upgrade, you're still only paying $329 for an iPad, which is less expensive than the iPad mini. We're looking at an incredibly low priced iPad, and it's absolutely positioned to be a better tablet, a better computing device for education, because for the education price, it's down to $299. So it's definitely what Apple is trying to get you off of Chromebooks and get you onto something that's a little more secure, a little more reliable, and a little more privacy focused.
And they were so savage in that presentation. They were saying it's faster than Chromebooks, it's faster than PCs, it's faster than your broken Android tablets. That whole thing, that whole presentation, especially for the iPad Air, reminded me of the iPhone 11. Like, even the colors, the sculpted cameras, it's just such an iPhone 11 of iPad products.
Yeah. That's a funny way to look at it. Yeah,
and a good camera too. Like, that's not a terrible camera on an iPad Air.
Yeah.
It's the on the iPad Air, it's the wide angle camera from the Pro. Yeah,
it's the same wide angle camera, but it's got the image signal processor from the A14, which is going to be the iPhone's new image signal processor.
So it's like, we say that the current iPhone SE has the camera of the iPhone 8 or whatever, but it has the image signal processor from the iPhone 11.
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Makes us all computationally better looking.
Yeah. It's great. So there's a lot more to talk about, but we have actually come down to the end of our hour. So if you didn't already hear about it, iOS 14, watchOS 7, iPadOS 14, tvOS 14, and am I missing any? They've all been updated. So Big Sur is not yet available to the public, but all the others are available. You can go to iMore.com to read all about how to upgrade, should you upgrade, how to back up your devices, all that good stuff. So if you're ready to update all of your devices, and it hasn't happened already, jump on iMore.com, find out what to do. And if you have updated and you're seeing some trouble, like if your battery has started to drain since watchOS 7 updated, that's totally normal. It happens at first. It starts to work itself out. We've got some advice for you at iMore.com about what to do if your battery on your Apple Watch is draining. But if you just leave it alone, in a couple of days, you're probably going to be fine. If in a couple of days you're not fine, then you should maybe read our advice article.
But I threw mine in the trash. I looked at it. I said, it's getting warm. I threw it in the trash. What do you mean, Lori? I could read an article on iMore and fix it without throwing it away and getting angry on Twitter?
Yeah, having a temper tantrum in public. That would probably be the best move, is to read.
I'm lucky this table is too big to flip.
Instead, come to us. We will help you. If
Literally
you
your
want to
jobs.
if people want to talk to you on Twitter, Joe, and ask you all about how to update their iPad, what do they do? How do they get in touch with you?
I guess they can get in touch with me at jkeller87. That's JKELLER 87. And I'm always writing at iMore too. So comment on one of my articles. And I'll see.
And Georgia, if people want to put you on blast for not updating or agree with you that they're not ready to update yet because it's too worrisome to get the bugs, where can they get in touch with you?
So you could email me, Georgia at westmounttherapy.com, or you can check out Twitter. I'm there sometimes, Georgia_Dow. And if you're dealing with stress about all of these choices, you can check out anxiety-videos.
Absolutely. Anxiety-videos.com is definitely the place to go to just make you feel better about everything in the world, including your updates to your Apple Watch and your iPhone and all that stuff. But check out anxiety-videos.com for sure. And then Renee Ricci, if people want to get in touch with you on the interwebs, where's the best place to reach you?
Can I just preface this by saying I love Georgia's new wall hanging? It's the first time I've seen it
I
in
know.
action.
We talked
And
about it
it's-
before we started recording.
It's so nice.
It's
And
beautiful.
the reason Lori's not barbecuing as much is because she's busy roasting people on the internet.
Oh,
just
oh.
Keep that in mind.
Be careful.
Yeah, you can
YouTube.
find me at Renee Ricci on everything. I'm the most boringly consistent person you'd ever. So Twitter, Instagram, YouTube / Renee Ricci. I'm right there until Lori eventually puts me down.
Renee published I can't even an uncountable amount of videos this week post Apple event at youtube.com / Renee Ricci, all one word, ReneRitchie, just in case you didn't already know. Go watch his videos. They're amazing. They're impressive. He worked hard on them and has overworked himself to come up with this incredible content. So please go check that out. youtube.com / Renee Ricci.
Also,
And if you want to get in touch with me.
Sorry. I was just going
Sure.
to say, if you're anything like me, his recent video on rumors will speak to your soul directly.
Oh, toxic rumor culture. Yay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Absolutely. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can hit me up on Twitter at Appaholic. That's APPAHOLIK. And of course, writing at iMore, all the good things. Thank you to everybody that jumped in today. We had a big crowd today. Thanks to Renee for probably helping spread the word. It was really great to see all your faces or see all of your names in there. We saw a couple new ones too. So thanks for everybody that jumped in and said some stuff. And thanks, of course, to Jim Metzendorf for everything you do for us to make us sound so good here on YouTube and on Twitter. Thank you so much. We couldn't do this without you, literally. And thanks to everybody who listens throughout the week that aren't able to join us live. We do record live every Friday, usually at about 1 p.m. Eastern time. So you can find us on YouTube at our iMore channel. So it's youtube.com / iMore, I believe, or maybe youtube.com / iMore show. I can't remember which one it is right now. So if you subscribe to us, you'll be able to get those notifications and find out when we're live. But it's every Friday at about 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you're not listening live, you can find us on YouTube, of course. iTunes, of course. And so those of you that listen to us when it's not live, thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate all of the love that you give us. Again, we wouldn't do this if it weren't for the people that watch and listen to us. So everybody have a great rest of your week. Don't stress out about your updates. They're all going to be fine. Even if they're a little buggy at first, it gets better, I promise. And have a great weekend because this has been the iMore Show.